AJ.
What's up, man?
I don't know, dude. It's just everything happening last minute here as usual. Getting a show set up, uh,
I'm
getting some.
surprised we have a decent looking show considering we got it together in like I don't know the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, seven total. So, lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of interesting things on
Oh,
the docket
uh,
today.
oh, I gotta spit out my gum.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't like to chew gum on screen. It's weird.
you know what's great about them not being able to see us right now. You could have done that and they wouldn't have known. Like you didn't even have to tell them. Yeah.
I was smacking a little bit though.
Okay. Well, stop smacking and let's start the show. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's right, if you're watching it right now, although if you're watching it later, this might not hold true, then you are watching it live on YouTube. There's also many ways to watch it not live, as some of you in the future are doing right now, or people over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can check us out over there. But that's only if you like hearing our voices and not seeing our faces. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. And this man over here in the corner with the black beanie on is AJ from the Underground. PSVR
Oh,
Underground.
my ears, man. What is up, dude? What is up, game cats? I see y'all though. Look, they're having a good time. Billy Goat Catfish is already in the chat and he's naked. He says he's got his birthday suit on.
I was going to say, somebody's getting this.
Happy Wednesday. Happy International No Man's Sky Update Day. Man, I hope you guys are ready. Happy Hump Day. This is your second hump day of the week. Monday was Valentine's Day. And yeah, so you just get more humping. And I hope you're ready. Everyone assume the position because we are here to hump you full of all the PSVR news that you can handle until you beg us for mercy to stop and say the safe word.
Listen. No,
What?
listen. I just spent
What?
4 hours watching the Bill Cosby documentary. Okay,
Oh
like
no!
this is very
Oh,
sensitive shit right now to me. I
oh
was like,
man! What?
listen,
Too
before I
soon,
even
man.
look at anybody in an ad with any kind of admiration, I'm going to give you a form and say, is this okay, sir or madam? Because because holy shit, what a terrible person he was.
Man, don't ruin
Wow.
Hump Day.
Dude, I just had 30 years of Bill
I
Cosby comedy ruined for me in 4 hours.
Yeah, my brother was a big fan too. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but I told you to watch Arcane. You know, but
You're
hopefully
like,
you.
watch something that's not educational. Watch something that will not ruin your life. Yeah, okay. Dude, and that's
It'll
all I
change
do.
your life.
This is all I end up watching, man. I always end up watching shit that ruins people for me. I've watched Finding Neverland and like whatever the Jeffrey Epstein one. Like not like we thought that was gonna be. Oh my god, it turned out he was a good guy. But I mean, like what's the R. Kelly one? Surviving R. Kelly. Dude, I watch all this shit, and I just realized that humanity is fucked. Everybody's a horrible person. That's all I've learned from all of this. So if you're a good person out there, I mean, you're one of the last few, and I love you so much. Sign this consent form
Seymour
for me to
finally
say I love you.
PSVR. Seymour finally PSVR 2 Game Cat says can't wait till we get waist tracking VR and we can all hump together. I mean, you can kind of do that. There's some games with some pretty decent IK that you can definitely make this happen. We can arrange something, Seymour. You just say the word
And sign this consent form.
and sign this form first, please.
Wow. Okay. That's yeah. Guys, don't forget, if you love conversations like this, then head on over to Discord, click the link in the description below, join us over there. Best community on the fucking planet, man. Really. And you know why? It has nothing to do with me, I promise you that. And a little to do with AJ. But mostly it's all to do with all of you. You guys are the fucking best. I don't know
Big
how I've gotten
modest.
so lucky in life to be surrounded by the greatest people of all time. But here they are, the cats. Meow. I love you so much. Especially on weeks like this, man. I've kind of been pulling back a little bit, and I know we're going on a little bit of a rant here. We probably get the show started, but I've kind of pulled back a little bit this week, and I've just been like just doing some mental health stuff, trying to clean my apartment. I got some new bookshelves. I'm trying to clean my place up. I'm in the middle of assembling bookshelves.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm going to be spending the next 12 hours of my life assembling bookshelves. And
I could do some cleaning. I have God knows how many water bottles here.
Whoa, God knows. But get those on camera. We need to actually see a number.
I did pull. Oh, did you not see it?
I saw that there was a substantial number, and that's all.
You get a sneak peek. I know it's messy over here.
Wow.
It's like you don't. I don't even want to go into the details.
Okay.
Sometimes we all need a little time, man. Sometimes we all need some time to just take a step back and refresh our heads. And we live a lot of stressful lives, and you got to sometimes take a break and take a little mental vacation.
That's right.
And then come back fully recharged.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, that's why pretty much all you'll see on Without Parole this week is just GamesCast Live, and then I'll get back to work this weekend. Back to the normal routine. But damn, let me tell you, man, I've been having some fun. I've been playing some retro games. I've just been kind of kicking back and like not feeling bad for not getting work done. It's kind of nice. And I'll tell you, man, I've been playing Snatcher, the Hideo Kojima masterpiece over on Sega CD.
Oh yeah,
and
I know what Snatcher is.
Yeah, and dude, it's one of those. I mean, I've started it like 100 times throughout the course of the years. I know it's just like a Blade Runner, impersonator, but dude, it holds up amazingly well. Like I'm actually playing through most of this for the first time, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a great visual novel, with just enough interaction to keep you entertained. It's really good, man. Snatcher, So and I think I went back to it because somebody in the comments recently was talking about how Hideo Kojima was like overrated. And I was like, yeah, I can see how he's overrated, but I still think he's awesome. And then I started thinking, I was like, I've never actually played all of Police Knots or Snatcher, and I've never played through all of Boktai 1 and 2 on Game Boy Advance. And I was like, maybe it's time to spend some time playing those games. And I'm really, really enjoying Snatcher. I can't wait to get back to it. Great story, well delivered. Well, the voice acting is actually halfway decent for a Sega CD game, and of that era, like voice acting sucked during that time. It was okay. So. You've been playing anything interesting? Any non-VR stuff to get off your chest while we're on the topic?
No.
Okay, good.
And to get back on topic, we are going to kick things off. We've got a huge No Man's Sky update that is yet to be seen. As last time I checked, the patch has not dropped. However, we have all the info and some really cool things that we are going to discuss. Huge that we are going to get into. Got another MMO that is potentially on the way. But first, we're going to kick things off, Brian, with Firesprite, PlayStation Studios' first-party studio that made the Persistence. They have tweeted out, when was it, yesterday? No, 19 hours ago, and they said that they are hiring for a senior concept artist for a new dark story-driven next-generation adventure. Now, I have to ask you something here. We already knew that they were developing a dark narrative adventure. They have already said this. But they're throwing in this word next generation. And if you look at the senior concept artist description, it says, this huge, highly ambitious partnership project takes atmosphere, storytelling, player agency, and narrative firmly into groundbreaking territory on next-generation hardware technologies. May I ask you, Brian, do you think this is a PlayStation VR 2 game? And do you think that's what they're hinting at when they say that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
I can understand people thinking that it's not a VR game.
We're too far into the PlayStation 5 generation, man. We're over a year in, and it's you can't call that shit next gen anymore. That's the current gen of consoles. And when you say next gen technology, you start using terminology like that. That refers to things that have not been released yet or up and coming.
I could see it just being like a mistake. But to me, this screams PlayStation VR 2. I mean, because it would just be really weird to call it next gen instead of unless they're referring to PS5, which they technically could be,
Mhm.
I want to have a little fun with this. I want to leave a little room open to be like both. Yes, it's VR and play devil's advocate a little bit because I do think it leaves enough room. But it's very very suspicious when they throw out those terms like that to me.
Yeah. Your Long Shadows is a game cat meow in the chat says they're saying next gen plural. I feel like PSVR 2 is it. Interesting. That's something I didn't pick up on. Yeah, the other thing is that like I think when we look at Firesprite, we sort of think of, hey, the persistence was great. They did it. They ended up making a flat screen version, and it was awesome in VR. So maybe these guys will be at the forefront of making hybrid games.
Right.
I really kind of do hope, that because the persistence was so good, the only thing, if anything, held it back was that it was a DualShock 4 only game, and it didn't have move support or aim support, that kind of thing. I would love to see what they could do if they were given the chance to make an exclusively only VR game. Do things because I want to see developers like this push the limits and not have to worry about, well, what if we want to do a flat screen patch later? What if we want to make this a hybrid game? There are certain things that cannot be done or done well on a flat screen that like I wouldn't want Firesprite to hold back their vision, right? I want them to go all in. So
Right.
my question for you, AJ, taking this a little bit further down the road, is do
Okay.
you think this could be a follow-up, being a dark narrative to the persistence?
God, I would love that. Um, I would so love that because I love the persistence. I also want a persistence remaster. I would play the shit out of that game again.
Give me orbs. Give me
Because
orbs.
with the orbs, and I think it would get a lot more popularity or whatever, a lot more attention, I should say, if it did have a remaster with the orbs. Because I think again, I'm a huge System Shock 2 fan. I've always loved like sci-fi and horror, and I feel like it's a good mixture of that. Let me tell you what I think it could be, man. And I know this sounds crazy, but this is kind of just what I'm sticking with. I I, I think if I were to have a wild guess,
Mhm.
that it is this rumored Twisted Metal game. And how freaking cool would that be if what Firesprite is hiring for right now, a dark narrative adventure?
Wow.
I really feel like it's possible. We already have heard rumors and leaks of Firesprite now being the primary developer on the Twisted Metal project.
Mhm.
What if this is it, man? And what if it's for PSVR 2? Oh, gimme. I mean, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes, it would. I might even prefer that to Persistence 2, only because you know me, man, like Twisted
Yeah.
Metal Black to me is just like the best of the Twisted Metal series. Getting to be able to play that in first person VR, and this would have to be a hybrid game, I think, just to keep the player base, the multiplayer stuff at peak levels. And I think that it would be one of those games that's absolutely totally fair to the VR gamers and the non-VR gamers. There's slight advantages here or there, but one won't really outdo the other. And I've said before that if Twisted Metal in VR would be a game that I wouldn't even care about, having my hands on the wheels and grabbing things in the car and like pulling levers and shit like that. I want to have the full steering wheel setup with the pedals and just be driving and just hitting buttons to fire rockets and that kind of shit. Like I want to feel like I'm in a car. So it would be really interesting to see how they implement that if that was the case.
Yeah. Neon Groove asked, would Twisted Metal be an adventure game, though? That's a tricky one. But the thing is, it could be because it's supposed to be like the worst kept secret ever. It is based off of the TV show that's in production right now, starring what's his name, Anthony Mackie, and it's supposed to be kind of like a dark comedy or something. So I feel like that would be one of the directions they take it is a just story driven kind of adventure that's based off the TV show. And
Yeah,
but
I mean, I fell off of Twisted Metal after Black, right? Because I didn't really love what what some of the other versions were doing, and so and really all the campaign in Twisted Metal games up to that point really had been like, all right, now you're going to this arena and you're fighting these cars. and that's it. Like the story was pretty minimal until like there's a little setup at the beginning, a little setup a little closure at the end. But it would be so much cooler to actually have a campaign that you go on in single player that actually has story throughout, where it's not just like, okay, now this stage, okay, now this stage, okay, now this stage, where it's actually this cohesive narrative dark adventure. I think that would be fucking cool, man. Yeah. On the complete and total opposite side of the spectrum, we're going to talk about Sam and Max in just a second, but first I want to give a shout out to Nihilus Ryan, the Game Feline, with the $5 tip. Says, I've been retro gaming too. Legend of Dragoon on PS1.
Ooh.
Classic JRPG love.
Nice. I started it like maybe 5-6 years ago, and then I never finished it because I'm a huge Final Fantasy guy, and that was like Sony's Final Fantasy attempt.
Yeah, it was interesting. Everybody wanted to get in on the JRPG train at that point, and I've got friends that absolutely love that game, and I've always meant to sit down and play it from start to finish myself. I've seen the beginning, the end, or pieces of the middle, and that's it. I've got a long story about that, but not for today. Mad Max, the Metaverse Game Cat VR with the $5 tip says, I made it. Welcome. It says, freaking Sentinels, we get mechs in No Man's Sky. Also, did I miss the Metal Gear Solid PSVR 2 remake rumor yet? Also, Twisted Metal is supposed to be a hybrid. Okay. Yeah, we talked about the Metal Gear Solid remake rumor. I mean, it's in the thumbnail a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wally is now a game cat, specifically a white tiger, with a Canadian $2 tip, says, Persistence had me motion sick. Any tips for me? I mean, we always say the same thing, really. Like, make sure you're not playing on an empty stomach or over caffeinated. If you turn a fan on and point that at yourself while you're playing, that generally helps quite a bit. People say chew ginger. What else you got, AJ? Anything good?
Well, the fan is the big one. Staying cool and not getting overheated, and like you said, don't. Yeah, you want to basically feel really good before you jump in. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they've gotten motion sickness from that game. So maybe give it another try and just ease your way into it. There's been games that have. Well, I've never gotten real motion sickness. I've gotten close in some, and basically first time I was like, oh. And then I jumped back in, and I took a break. I immediately dropped it, and then I came back later, and it was better that time. So sometimes you just got to kind of like ease your way into it, and play a little bit at a time till you get there. But totally worth it if you can, because the game is amazing.
Agreed. I'd be curious to hear what other games that make you motion sick, just to see if it's a specific type of game or if it's the dual shock and keeping you from being totally immersed, or if you're sitting or standing, the whole thing. There's so many questions, man. I have so many questions. But we have to move on. And that brings us to Sam and Max. This time it's virtual. They just got a new trailer, today, along with a February 23rd release date, which means it's coming out next week. AJ.
Wow.
I think you and I were both a little bit, I don't know, lukewarm on this. But what do you think of this new trailer? Have you had a chance to check it out?
Actually, I'm watching it right now. I didn't realize there was a brand new trailer. I really want this to be good. I really want to enjoy this because I used to love, not as much as you, but I used to love point and click and adventure games, and there was a lot of them that I did like. And this was one that like I just barely scratched the surface on. So I really, really want to enjoy this and really hope it's good. And from what I see here, I mean, it looks decent. It looks like it could be a fun time for sure. So fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I really hope they got this right.
I hope so too. We've heard a lot of, kind of negative press on this, saying it's just a collection.
Mostly like average. I haven't heard anything like horrible, but I have heard a lot of just like, it's just meh.
The concern is that it's like $30, and so if it's going to be meh, it better be like at least cheap.
Right.
But this trailer made it look more fun to me, like for so many reasons. And I want to read a comment from Johnny James C over on Reddit, friend of the show. Said, I enjoyed this, and I'm not a fan of Sam & Max or point and click games in general. It really appealed to me as soon as I realized it had full locomotion, sharp, colorful visuals, and well-animated, larger-than-life characters. I felt like I was in a Danny DeVito. I felt like I was Danny DeVito in Who Framed Roger Rabbit at times.
Yeah,
Danny DeVito?
I'm just looking. Oh, Bob Hoskins.
There you go, Bob Hoskins. I was like,
Um,
yeah. He says it's a pleasure to walk around the cartoon world where the when on the cases and the mini games were interesting enough. Um, he said I definitely preferred Sam and Max to Groundhog Day, as that felt too point and clicky to me. And so it
was
sounds
so
like
slow.
yeah. He says it lasts around 5 hours, and it won't blow you away. But he said it was entertaining, and so it's nice
Cool.
to kind of hear some more positive perspectives because again, what we heard was like really, really like just average, and no one
Yeah.
was saying, "Hey, check this shit out."
Yeah. But I agree with you that this trailer, I didn't listen to it, but just watching it and visually, it looks very nice. So
Yeah. Well, it's
fingers
nice.
crossed.
It's nice when they show like full locomotion. It's nice when they show movement
Yeah.
because all they really ever showed before, there was it seemed like there was some teleportation sections and maybe some climbing, but this is showing quite a bit of full locomotion, and I do think that changes quite a bit for me. I don't want to just be like, you know, we associate this whole like standing still with the wave shooter time period of PSVR where it was just like, okay, just stand here and shoot stuff, or just stand here and solve puzzles, or just stand here and do this, and it just, I don't know, like that period is over for me. So this trailer has definitely gotten me more intrigued in knowing that it's only a week away.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. I hope this is good.
Yeah, me too.
That being said, I think it's time to move on. We got a viewer takeover question from Just Johnny M 1976 in our Discord. Remember, guys, if you want to leave us a viewer takeover question, go to our Discord and go into the viewer takeover channel. Leave your question. Other people will answer the question for you. What's up?
Was that the same person that left the Reddit comment? Just Johnny? Wasn't that the person that you just mentioned?
No, that's
Oh, okay.
Johnny James C, who
Okay.
I've seen on Reddit for years now. I feel like since the beginning of
Okay.
PSVR, he's been around. But
Okay.
Just Johnny M says, hashtag viewer takeover. Is there a cutoff on how realistic they should make games? Graphically and content wise, should there be a line? Now, I think this is an interesting question because coming into next generation of PlayStation VR 2, we're going to be capable of some really ultra realistic graphics. Do you think, AJ, that there is a line that should not be crossed?
For realistic graphics? No. It's usually like a technical achievement. I mean, look at some of these AAA games that are coming out, but it's a little wishy-washy when you say realistic. I mean, to me, anything can look realistic if it just looks really good, and I think there is no line that should be drawn for that. I want to believe, even if it's a fantasy world, I want to believe that I am actually in that world and making that. Even if it's got neon blue crystals and weird pink fog and stuff. Yeah, I want that to look as realistic as possible to me and get fully immersed in the world visually. And yeah, there's a couple. I feel like there's a couple conversations here, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm going to start with.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easy answer for me is it's called virtual reality, right? And I think the goal in virtual reality to me is to surpass video games proper, where when you look at a television screen, you're always going to have this space between you and the game. There's always going to be something keeping you from being immersed, and that thing is the fact that you're not in the game. At least in VR, you're in the game, and so I feel like the goal for VR is to go further than video games ever have as far as immersion goes. And so when it comes to like high resolution textures and super realistic environments, detailed character models, all that stuff, I think it's even more important to have that be as realistic as possible when you're going for realism in a VR game. And so
Right.
I thought Resident Evil 7 was obviously about as realistic as it gets in VR thus far. And so to see what the next level of that will look like, to see something that's even more detailed than that, something that's even more high resolution, that like really, because dude, I've told this story 1,000 times. Like my heart would race in Resident Evil 7. I had a hard time just opening some of the doors because I was like, man, I'm like so fucking scared. If I open this door, something jumps out at me, I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack and die. Like he says, I can't handle it. It's too real, and I had to remind myself this isn't real. And like every 10 minutes, and I love that. And I would love to see what the next level of that feels like. I feel like video games are like a drug, man. You always want the next big, better thing. right? If you keep getting the same thing over and over and over, it's never enough, and like you're always chasing the dragon, right? It's got to be bigger and better and more realistic. And how is next gen of something going to be more realistic than this gen? And I think VR is the medium where that's something that's actually we're capable of reaching the next level of immersion. And so, yeah, I want it to be as realistic as possible.
Yeah. Mad Max, the Metaverse Game Cat VR, gives a $2 donation. Says, what about the violence? I think that's the debate. I'll be honest with you. So there's probably, let me just say, there's probably people on every end of the spectrum and the diagram that have a different stance toward this. There's going to be, not everyone's going to agree with anything that, but for me personally, like I'm not a person that typically likes, I've never been like huge into violence or gore or anything. But in video games, I love it. I think it is a ton of fun, and I find it more humorous than I do like just trying to gross you out or offended by it. Yeah. That's why I like stuff like Swordsman. And while I can understand some people being concerned about this kind of stuff, I think it's up to the artist and the artist's vision. Yeah. And if they want to make a game and it being like super gory is their idea of a good time, and it's, you know, it's their art, then I'm totally fine with that. And I welcome that. And I would love to, you know, there was like this game that looks, it's called like Survive, and it's kind of like, kind of looks like After the Fall. And there was this like moment where the person had a sledgehammer and they slammed it down on a zombie's head, and the zombie's head just like imploded. And like I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like that looks so fun. So yeah, that's without going too much further into it, that's kind of how I feel. I think not every game has to be gory or whatever. Don't play that game. Play a different game. Right. I don't think there's anything wrong with having something for everybody.
Yeah. You know, this question is actually coming, you know, hot on the heels of the whole Martha is Dead debate, with that controversy and Sony censoring a section of the game, whereas Xbox and PC didn't. You know, there's a section where you're actually cutting off the face of this woman, and then, you know, you're going to take it on, put it on your own face.
It's pretty nasty.
It's pretty nasty, and I've seen the clip. You know, it's all over Twitter right now, and it's something you control in game. And here I am thinking, I want to play this in VR with motion controls, and I want to be physically cutting it off and just being like, wow, I can't believe they're making me do this. You guys remember Heavy Rain? There were some really brutal sections in that too, and I can't stop thinking how great those would be in first person VR, because I'm crazy and I want to play fucking messed up shit like that in VR because I love horror. I want things to be as graphic and as gruesome, as crazy as they can be. But like AJ said, we live in a time where there's certainly no shortage of games, and so if that's not your speed, well then don't play them. And I totally understand if somebody goes, well, that's just too much, that's ridiculous, that's over the top, I wouldn't want to play something like that, that's for deranged people. Excellent, don't play it, right? There's going to be a ton of games that I don't want to play either. And I think that's what makes gaming great. It's just like music. It's just like books. It's just like any other form of entertainment. There's something for everybody. And so, you know, you got to kind of leave the stuff that you don't like to the people that do like it. And I think it's just weird that people try to shoot each other down because of what they like and what they dislike. So I don't think there should be any controversy. I don't think there should be any issue. Make shit crazy, over the top, realistic, bloody, gory for the people who want that. And make sure that there's warnings all over your box and before you purchase it, so that no one accidentally buys that that doesn't want that, right? So, Buddha censorship. That's right, Beard of Power. AJ, we gotta fucking move on, man. This is the biggest news story of the day is next. What is it?
No Man's Sky is back with a new update. Now, like we were saying, last we heard, this update still has not dropped on the PlayStation Store. It has dropped on other platforms. So we haven't had a chance to play this yet. However, there is a lot of really, really interesting things that are part of this update that we still have at least a full list of patch notes to run down and speculate a little bit, if you will. Now, this update is called Sentinel, and it is a major combat overhaul. There are new enemies, improved AI, new lore, and missions. Apparently now some of the Sentinels have there's these new a Sentinel HQ. And apparently there is I don't know if it actually has voiceovers, but the trailer had some really cool voiceovers. I don't know if that was Optimus Prime's voice or what, but
It did sound like it.
they've had Rutger Hauer. They've had the guy that did Optimus Prime. They've had a couple people, but I want to know if this makes it into the game. Yeah. They have some actually decent writing too for the game, but you just don't really know about it because it's not presented like a cinematic game, you know? But there is a new exobiology expedition that's supposed to be dropping. All new weapons, virtual effects overhaul, active camo, which is basically like Predator camouflage, a buildable AI mech. So there's a mech in the game that you had before. Now you can install AI into it so that it fights alongside you. And just a whole slew of other things here, man.
Which of these are you most excited for? Which of these do you think is going to be most game changing? Like something that you'll be using all the time?
Well, I'd say there's 2 or 3, to be honest with you. I want to try the new mech controls because the mech controls before were garbage. That's literally the only thing. Literally the only thing in the game that controls like shit was the mech. I think Sean Murray saw somebody who had recorded some footage of him battling Sentinels in a mech, and it was like a firestorm thing. I remember you hopped into one of my streams one time when I was kind of doing a similar thing. And I think that's what made them want to overhaul the combat. So this game has always been about exploration, space exploration, and kind of sandboxy stuff. Now they're fine-tuning the combat, which I think is a big deal for a lot of people. That it's huge. This active camouflage where you can become invisible. I can't wait to see what this is all about. But yeah, man, there is one thing, Brian, that I would say is the most exciting, if it's true, depending on how this turns out. And that is supposedly there is a PS4 Pro patch for this game finally. I don't even know what to say about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, Richard Baki in the chat said the quote is VR image quality has been improved for PS4 Pro. That's very specific. He's asking if that is a pro patch. And that's very specific terminology. They're not just saying, on PlayStation improved image quality. They're saying very specifically PS4 Pro. And since the patch hasn't gone live yet for PlayStation 4, we can't test this out. And I think it's the thing that most people are most curious about because A, is it actually something we'd consider a pro patch, which by description, it is a pro patch, but we don't know how much it's actually going to do, right? It's a patch for the PlayStation 4 Pro's graphics, but how close to how close to PlayStation 5 is that really going to bring it, right? Is it just going to up the resolution a little bit? Is it going to give us a little more detail in the world? We don't know. But I think the worst thing about No Man's Sky in VR is the blurry visuals on the PS4 and PS4 Pro, and it's a damn shame it's taken this long to get a pro patch if this is actually the one.
Yeah, I wonder if it almost has something to do with them releasing the game on Switch, if they were able to maybe utilize that build, because I know a lot of games that came out on Switch, people were like, oh, it can run on PlayStation VR now. And there was some connection between that. Do you know what that is?
No.
But there was anyways, I don't think it's a coincidence that I just don't know. I don't know. But I'm really, really curious to see because, the probably number one most requested thing for this game was not extra content that they've been giving. It was nothing but a pro patch. And yes, it is 3 years late, but better late than never. If this if this is the one.
Right. And hopefully it will be, because it really doesn't need much. It just needs a little bump in resolution. And obviously, the PlayStation 4 Pro is much more much more powerful than the PlayStation 4. So there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't happen. Obviously, for the No Man's Sky team, for Hello Games, it's you got to give them credit for they're still not like a gigantic team, and they're still pumping out these updates for many different platforms, and now the Switch as well. So like the fact that they didn't support the upgraded version of the PlayStation 4 and actually give it a specific patch, it's like almost like, gee, I can kind of understand that, especially when it's just the people playing in VR on the Pro that need the patch. It's like it's a small portion of a very small group of people, but for our community, that's a huge group of people.
Right.
So we're certainly looking forward to this, and we'll for anyone who doesn't know or is waiting to hear whether it actually works or not, whether it actually does something significant, we'll certainly let you know.
Yeah, I'm super excited to check this out. I would have checked it out earlier, but again, the patch is a little late right now. Not sure what the deal is with that. Every Wednesday, along with every other platform, we have always gotten the patch. So, I don't know what would set this apart. If it was a graphical thing, or I'm curious to see what it was. Is Sony just on vacation this week? Like, are they like, no, all of our efforts are going into Horizon Forbidden West? And I don't know what the deal is, but can't wait to check it out. Every single update keeps me coming back and coming back. Let me tell you something else, Brian, because there's actually a long list of shit in this update, and there's something that I thank God I remembered off the top of my head because it was in the deep patch notes. One of my favorite updates in No Man's Sky ever in the 7 years I've been playing it, 6-7 years, whenever it came out, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing it. One of my favorite updates was the pets update, being able to obtain pets and then being able to ride them and everything. They have now expanded the pets from 6 to 18 pets. And like that to me is low key one of my also most anticipated things, because I no longer have to abandon every single pet I get for a new one because 6 slots was just not enough for me. There's too many cool looking pets in this game, and too many things I just want to be like, oh, you're coming with me, and now I can.
Just for clarification, it does seem like the patch is available on PlayStation 5. Darkwing Chuck, the PSVR 2 SenseCat, says it's been live on the PS5 version for a while, but not PlayStation 4. All right. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, PS4 is the only platform that it's not out yet for. So I guess, but see, that doesn't help us because we want to test the Pro patch. I mean, it helps us play the game,
yep.
but it doesn't help us in terms of seeing that Pro patch.
Right, exactly.
That's true or not.
With all the different updates that are coming as part of this Sentinel update, we're most interested to see what the PlayStation 4 Pro version looks like. So
yeah, it's a big deal.
It's very true. Sean Yarbrough, the Game Cat, says, does anyone know when VR2 is coming? Yep. AJ, are you ready to talk about another MMO coming to PlayStation VR? Something other than Zenith.
Lord have mercy. Y'all never going to see me again.
My God. It's absolutely insane.
I love it, man. It is insane, though. It is insane. It is a bit much considering I already have 140 hours into Zenith. And now we have a new update from the Ilysia devs, the other VR MMO.
Yeah, these guys over on their Kickstarter page posted just yesterday on the 15th. They said, actually, hold on a second. This is a couple updates, I guess. Yep. Hold on a second. We go back to all updates. I'm taking you with me on this. So what happens. I swear I was prepared for this.
I hear you.
Here it is.
I can't handle another MMO. My life has been taking over already. I hear you, man. I'm all with it though. I'm all with it.
Yeah, so the updates actually started back on December 3rd. So just, a couple months ago, they're letting everybody know that about Alpha 2, and that Alpha 2 is coming along great. And that they're just sorting out a few different bugs. They want to make sure that everybody who gets into the Alpha 2 won't experience all the bugs that people have been experiencing. And that was in December. And then over on February 9th, which is just a week ago, they said, today we're showcasing some significant changes to our avatars in Ilysia compared to what you might have seen prior in our Alpha 1. They're also talking about, we wanted to address some of the concerns of the community regarding Alpha 2. They've been silent regarding development, and we promise you that things are going extremely well. The entire team has been hard at work, and while we need to keep a lot of what we're doing under wraps, we're beyond excited to share with you all the things we completed over the past few months, with news and more content on the way. And then just yesterday, hold on, I got this. See, I told you I had this.
Stringing it together.
Stringing it all together. Today we have a look at some of the changes to our environment in the testing region. They're showing off avatars and armor, higher tier plate set, male and female avatars complete with lava themed weapons, blah blah blah. The point is that in a time when Zenith is kind of got everyone's taken over everyone's mindshare when it comes to VR MMO. It's interesting to see that these guys are still plugging away. And not that we ever thought they were going to give up or anything like that. We actually thought Ilysia was going to be the first one out. So here we are, not even a month into Zenith, and we're getting, here Ilysia's getting into Alpha 2, which means the beta is probably not that far away, which means release is probably, within the next 6 months or so. What is... At this point, AJ... What do you think that they have to do to differentiate themselves from Zenith and actually pull people away from this MMO that people have spent, as you said, over 100 hours in? They're invested. They're totally committed to leveling up their character and getting legendary weapons and crafting whatever they can. It's going to take a lot to pull people away, especially when we know that there's new quests coming, new endgame content, all sorts of new stuff. What's going to pull you away from Zenith? To enter a new MMO, other than having to do it
being a PlayStation VR game.
Yeah.
No, nothing's gonna pull me away from Zenith, but dare I say I would maybe actually play both. I think because the thing is they are kind of different, even though they're both MMOs. They do have a slightly different approach. This is more of a World of Warcraft vibe going on. The thing is, I don't know the current state of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure, but I love RPGs. I love open world games and huge games, and I love grinding. I mean, I love this shit, and I don't think there's anything that would discourage me from playing this, other than it just being a lackluster MMORPG. If it's good, yeah, I'm gonna play the absolute hell out of it. And what could it do better than Zenith? I think maybe have more fleshed out, deeper end game content. Maybe have some PvP, because those are things that Zenith does not have. Zenith has end game content, but it's not deep end game content. It's more just set up to kind of grind for some loot. But they're going to be on top of that shit. They're going to be releasing more updates at some point, and they have a big head start because of this. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's very, very interesting. I actually thought Ilysia was the one to look out for first, and boy was I wrong. No, it was Zenith turned out to be the one that came out swinging first. So yeah, I don't know. They both have a lot of things in common, just a different aesthetic, and I am curious to see how much content and what kind of content this game has.
Yeah, me too. There's obviously Zenith does a lot of things great, but I would love to see what the good thing that Zenith does is sort of takes a lot of these things you would associate with pressing a button, and gives you the freedom to do it yourself in VR and makes it VRAF, as we like to say. But there's even, you can take that even further. I think you can go even further than Zenith did, and so I would like to see, if Ilysia had this stuff in mind, were they as aware as Ramen VR, that they were making a VR game, and that you have to capitalize on that and make it as immersive for the player as possible. So this is, to me this is great. To me this is, I think one of the great things about this happening is sort of that you look at the PlayStation VR 1 release calendar for the rest of the year, and it's a little spotty, right? It's like, yes, we're still getting the occasional new game announcement like Transformers and Star Tenders, and it's like, whatever. And we're still looking forward to a few different titles coming down the road, like, Do Not Open. But those games are probably going to be games that we play for a day or two and then go, okay, well, that was fun. Thanks. Move on. MMOs, luckily, are something that have a little bit more meat on their bones, something that we can spend a lot more time in, something that we can socialize in, play together in, and spend a lot more time as a community in. And so I think it's super important that we get this game this year on PlayStation VR to sort of fill in some of the bigger holes in the release calendar.
Right.
I think this is going to be great while we wait for PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this one as well. I loved World of Warcraft. I loved Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. I love MMOs in particular. I was just talking with Jens about Guild Wars 2 recently, and yeah, I've played more than one MMO at once, and yeah, it is time consuming as hell, but I'm having a good time, so no worries there.
Listen, I think the important thing is that we were both shocked at how good Zenith turned out. Even jumping into the beta, we were like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is amazing, right?" And so, and so we're so proud of what Ramen did, and especially being able to bring it to PlayStation VR as well as they did. And so, the same thing goes to, is this Team 20? It's a number, Team 20, 21. I want to say 27. I don't know why. And we just, we hope for the best for these guys, and really anyone bringing a game to PlayStation VR at this point. We hope that they absolutely knock it out of the park. We can't wait to see what they have to show us. They're obviously taking their time. They're not trying to. They weren't rushing to the finish line to compete with Zenith. They're doing their thing, and at this point, I think it's smart. It's like, you really might as well take your time now, right? It's like, give Zenith some time to breathe, and give some Zenith players time to get burnt out on that a little bit, and then swoop in when when there's a little bit of a lull in content. So yeah. I think they have a chance. All right,
man. Well, that brings us to our final topic of the day, and that is thank you to Duran Fan VR, who posted this sale, as he always does, on Reddit. But yes, there is a huge sale on the PlayStation Store right now. And rather than going through each and every single little game, we just wanted to take a few and highlight them and say, this is a good deal. Hey, if you've got a little extra money burning a hole in your pocket, then go pick one of these up while it's cheap.
Also, I don't want to let this tip get too far away from us, so I just want to address it. Mad Max, the Metaverse Game Cat VR, the $2 tip says, will the PlayStation VR Pro patch regarding No Man's Sky affect how it plays on PlayStation 5? There shouldn't be any correlation at all. No.
Yeah, they're different patches, different versions.
Yeah.
Or different, yeah. They specifically cleared the resolution for the PlayStation 5 and took advantage of the backwards compatibility.
Damn, does it look good?
Hardware.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. All right, man. So yeah, I'm looking through this list of sale games. Do you have what's the first one you want to recommend?
All right, I gotta say this one first because this hasn't been on sale in forever.
I knew it.
And yeah, man, there's a couple other ones though, but I think Dan maybe was listening to us because To the Top is $13.99, and I freaking love this game.
Yeah, I mean, the fact this is a $20 game that you're going to get tons and tons and tons of hours out of. It's super challenging. It's basically every level is an obstacle course, and you're gonna replay each level so many different times. You're gonna replay a ton of times just to figure out how to get through it first and foremost. And then there's collectibles to find, so you're going to take your time going through on different runs and just speed runs to get through. And so like to get through to just finishing is an accomplishment on some of these, but doing it fast and finding everything in the level is absolutely crazy. And
Yeah, it's a fun first-person platformer. I always describe it as a first-person platformer.
Yeah.
Don't let like the visuals like discourage you. It is super fun to play. It has 30 levels that are really fun. It's a lot like a jungle gym that you can climb around and bounce around. There's lots of replay value. I have the platinum in this game. I have over 100 hours. There's also multiplayer, both co-op as well as PvP. So if you like playing with friends, this is another one to get with your friends, and super fun game. If I didn't play this game to death, like I'd probably still be playing it, but I did spend like literally over 100 hours in it, and I got my fill.
Yeah, this is it's great, man. It's absolutely great. But the thing that kills me is that like it's only $6 off, right? It's like, why didn't you guys buy this at $20? It's not like they were asking a whole lot to begin with, and it was a game that
A lot of
we've
content,
been recommending for a long time. But yeah, if it took a sale to get you guys to pick it up, then absolutely. It feels like it takes a little while to get used to the. I know we don't need to spend a lot more time on this, but it feels like you're a cat pouncing around once you get used to the control scheme, because you're able to do these big grand leaps and turns in the air and everything, but like really you're just making these small little motions once you get used to it, and you just feel like you're boing boing pouncing around like a cat. I fucking love that. It's really cool. But I'm
also has
a
great soundtrack.
Oh, it does have a good soundtrack, and you have the soundtrack.
I have the soundtrack right here.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend. You guys know that I love escape rooms, and one of the best. It probably was the best until Wanderer came around, but I think the Room VR Dark Matter is amazing. It's usually a $30 game, and with PlayStation Plus, it's only $7.49, which is such a huge discount, right? I mean, that's like one. I can't do math. Even without Plus, it's 2/3 off.
That is the lowest price it's been. Yeah, PlayStation Plus $7.49. Holy shit!
Right?
That is amazing. This is the time to get this game now. It is really good, and $7.49. That is crazy cheap. I've been waiting for it to get like really low, and that is actually like whoa, okay, like that's low enough. Go. Yeah. Now is the time. Super good game.
I mean, I can see why you might hold off with the Room VR Dark Matter, because it's node to node teleportation, it's quick turning, whatever. It's and I get it.
More for me, it's more 4 hours and one and done. But it's a damn good game. Like it's really fun and very memorable for a 4-hour game.
Yeah, I would say that's the other big problem, is that it is a one and done. 4 hours, huh? I forget how many hours it took me.
It was like 4 or 5.
Yeah. I feel like it took me like around 5 hours to beat it. But man, it is so memorable. Like just all of the rooms work really well, and it's just, and they get really creative, really imaginative. And I absolutely love the art style.
Great pick.
Yeah, highly recommend it. And at this price, it's a fucking steal. So, you got another one?
Yeah, just a quick. Well, no, I'm just gonna leave it at that for now. I think those are two of the best that are in this. There's some other good games in this sale, but those are the absolute musts right now.
Yeah, I think if you're on the fence about Sniper Elite VR at half price, it's like this is the time to buy that too. Only $15.
You have an aim controller.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Those are the big two, I think, in this one. Big two. Yeah. All right, man. But you know what time it is. It's time for PSVR 20 questions, and AJ is the host, which means he's got a PlayStation VR game in mind, and that means you guys out there need to help me, because I really suck at this. Actually, I'm pretty good at getting it when you guys give me the answer 2 seconds before the clock runs out. So
I'm pretty good at getting it when you guys give me the answer.
Mm-hmm. I stand by what I say. That is 100% accurate.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So I'm going to put 6 minutes up on the clock, and you guys got to help me out. We got 20 yes or no questions to figure out what PlayStation VR game AJ is thinking of. Are you guys ready to do this? I'm ready to do this. Go. Does it have move support?
Yes.
Okay. I'm writing it down. Port shovel. Moves. Okay. Is there a lot of shooting in this game?
Yes.
Moves with lots of shooting. Okay. Is there a flat screen version of this game?
No.
No flat screen. Ooh, Mark Smith. Is there full locomotion?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Shades. Good question. Is there multiplayer?
Yes, there is multiplayer in this.
Huh. Okay.
That was question number 5.
Flamehat, does evasion use the moves too? I thought it was just dual shock and aim. So many aim games only support the dual shock as well, and don't use the moves. It's a good question. Is the multiplayer co-op?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right, fine. I'm going to ask. Does it have aim support?
It does not have aim support.
Okay. No aim support. So there goes evasion. There goes a lot of shooters. Okay. Is the shooting from guns?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of the shooting is from guns. Yes.
Ooh. Some guns. All right. That eliminates a lot of. Trying to eliminate some of the shit in the chat. People are recommending a lot of great games, and I'm like, how can we eliminate a lot of these at once? That eliminates Windlands. That eliminates. Yeah. Okay. Should I get to speed up my questions here? Is there? Let's go through this. Move controls, move support, no aim. There's a lot of shooting. Some of it's guns. There's no flat screen version. There is full locomotion. There is multiplayer and co-op. Are you controlling a vehicle in this game?
You do not control a vehicle in this game.
Okay, no vehicle. Is the co-op team based?
What does that mean?
Are you playing on
team based? It's co-op.
Well, no, but I mean, because two people playing together wouldn't be a team. It would just be two people going through a camp, like Arizona Sunshine per se. That wouldn't be team. Like, is it? Well, let me ask you this: is there a PvP mode?
There's not PvP.
Okay, that helps.
I will give you that freebie and say no, there's not PvP.
That's not a freebie. You can count that. Okay, so that eliminates like Space Junkies.
That was number 10.
Ooh, Braxbro says, is it tied to an IP?
It is not tied to an existing IP, is what I assume you mean.
Yeah.
Every game is an IP.
Yeah. Okay. Are there zombies in this game?
There are not zombies in this game.
Okay. I know that doesn't really help us because I think we eliminated all the zombie games prior to this, but I'm realizing we're running out of time. Has developer made other VR games? Or other PSVR games? Let's go with that.
Not other PSVR games as far as I know.
Okay. Okay, let's try to figure out what else we're shooting with. Are we also using bows and arrows?
There are also bows and arrows in this. Yes.
Some guns, some arrows. Okay, guys, we're getting this. We're getting this. We've got a minute left. We've got this. There's lots of shooting. It uses the moves. There's no aim support. There's no flat screen version. It's got full locomotion, multiplayer co-op. There's no vehicles, no PvP. Not tied to an existing IP. No zombies. These people haven't made other PSVR games. Zenith doesn't have bows and arrows, does it?
Not yet.
Not yet. Ooh. Can you do a backflip in this game?
You can do a backflip in this game.
Can you do a triple jump in this game?
You can do a triple jump in this game.
I want to give a shout out to Braxbro because is this Sirento?
This is Sirento by Mixed Realm Studio, a kick-ass game that is awesome, has the best locomotion of any PlayStation VR game, I would say, because it lets you do backflips and you can do a backflip and shoot a ninja's head off with a bow and arrow upside down, Brian. Upside down. And I can't wait to play their next game, Hellsweeper.
And you can do it all in slow motion
VR
bullet
2.
time.
Love this game.
Yeah. No, this is one that
Good
really
job, Kat.
tests your VR legs. And if somebody had mentioned Sirento before Braxbro, I apologize. But
No, but you know what the funny thing was? Alberto Mapalm, the game Gato, said, does it have 3D rudder support? And I was hoping you weren't going to ask that. But it does have 3D rudder support.
how has that become such a running joke lately? People always ask, is it just All You Are Sister? Is he the only one?
Definitely.
Okay, just making sure.
It's one of those things, you know, it's like, I don't even want to talk about it.
Let's not talk about the 3D rudder support because when we do, people who try to sell us the 3D rudder show up in the chat. I don't know what that's all about. But all right, yeah, thank you so much, Braxbro, for helping me out with that. Thank you, all the cats, for helping me out. And of course, thank you to everybody who helps out this channel. Everybody from J Meow to Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry to AJ, who's here each and every single fucking week. Make sure you support him by subscribing to his channel, PSVR Underground, on YouTube. Support him on Patreon at patreon.com/PSVR Underground. Consider hitting up my Patreon, patreon.com/Without Parole Games. I knew that was there somewhere. Shout out to, of course, all of our moderators who kick ass not only just here on the channel, but also on Discord. Remember, guys, if you're not a member of our Discord, click the link in the description below, join our Discord, and hang out with us, because I have no friends. You guys are it. So, I love you all so very much. Thank you to everybody who hung out in the chat today. Thank you to everybody who donated, keeping the lights on, keeping the channel running. Excuse me. And thank you to everybody who sits back, watches the show, doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. AJ and Alberto Mapam El Kim Gato. May I cue the cat?
Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say see you guys Friday to RG with the peace symbol. Happy Hump Day, everybody. And go get your hump on. Enjoy yourself. I am giving you a second day to get lots of humping done, so take advantage. This doesn't happen all the time. All you are is history. Seriously, why don't you have rudder in your name yet? What is wrong with you? Endeavor 1 came to hang tonight. Thank you, Chief Water Tiger, Darcy the Balkan Cat, my good friend. Good to see you, man. That Game Cat in the chat says, am I here? Why, yes, you are.
Are any of us really here?
Nihilist Ryan, the game Feline, stay metal, brother. James Moore, Braxbro says, and always, in case I don't see you later, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Alberto Mapom, the game Gato, thank you, my friend. Cajones. JC, the inimitable, dual-wielding ass-kicking game cat, thank you so much, says, Christ, son, fist bump to you. Twitcher, the I Love Swordsman now game cat, the Funkadelic game cat, what up, homie? Move Master Mick in the house tonight, and that's not all. We also got the Fenner PSVR says, let's rock!
Let's rock! I love it. That was great.
Scott, Jessica, PSN Hervel, PSVR game cat for life. Later to you, man. Matt Max, the Metaverse game cat VR
So
says,
meta.
and the mechs. Still talking about the mechs. I'm excited about it too, man. Gino Pockets, aka the Who Dat Game Cat.
Who dat?
Who else we got here? Roy Schwartz in the house tonight. Good to see you, homie. Jazzy J, the Terra Mage Game Cat. Hit that sexy saxophone, baby. Play it. Play it. Let's go. Atmos VR 77. Let's go, man. Ash VR, the groovy game cat. Give me some sugar, baby. Mark Smith, adios to you, my friend. Flame Hat, the game cat, says, suck it, cat. With a big red heart. Oh, Flame Hat. Sean Yarborough, the game cat. Nice to see you as well, man. Hope Hope you're doing well. Killer Sal, baby, in the house. 777 forever. Good to see you, man. Guys, so many of you showed up today. Speaking of which, Red Rover, the effing game cat. Red Rover. LC255 Beats, the musical.
Beats.
Game cat. Robert the game cat in the house tonight says Mex. Genetic B, the approver game cat says fire. Guys, have a wonderful rest of the night. X Delirium X, and we will see you again soon.
Sign those consent forms.